Aquarius. Welcome to your reading for the new moon in Pisces. This is happening on the 20th of February at 6 minutes past 6 if you're in the southern hemisphere with me. And I've got a really lovely feeling about this, and I've got a lot to share with you. And I think probably the first thing that we might talk about is the principles of Pisces itself. Just to sort of expand a little bit on what we might know of Pisces, because there's a lot of personality traits that we can align with Pisces. We can align, dreamy and mystical and avoidant and wacky and cosmic and all of that kind of stuff. But really, some of the major principles of Pisces are that they are limitless in their capacity for empathy. They do feel a lot. The Pisces sign brings with it intense emotions of empathy and of connection. Pisces wishes to dissolve barriers, dissolve boundaries, because they really do believe that there is a connection between human soul to soul, and they do feel other people's pain. They do feel sadness if seeing injustice, if they, humans or animals or, sometimes plants too. And so if you've got planets in Pisces, it'd be interesting to check which ones they are, because this might go to explain some of your empathy, Aquarius. They're very quite dissonant signs. Aquarius is fixed air, so there is an incredible intelligence and problem-solving ability that Aquarians tend to have. It is very cerebral. It is about the bigger picture. For Pisces, it's about the bigger picture too, but in a much more kind of movable, shiftable way. It's the difference between a fixed sign and a mutable sign, which mutable means we're initiating into the next round. They're impressionable, shiftable. So check what planets you have in Pisces on your chart. And also, Aquarius risings, Pisces rules your second house, which is your value system. It's how you earn money. It's how you accrue sort of abundance, if you want to say it that way. It's also to do with your basic principles, like your principles in life and what you really believe in. And I think that it's really nice to have such a magical, caring, empathetic sign to be in that part of life for you. I really do. At a new moon, we get to imagine, don't we? We get to ask for what it is that we hope for. So in this way, you get to perhaps make some progress, make some movement with your ability to take care of yourself financially. Definitely, that's one thing to think about at this new moon. Another way would be to be really what it is that you do believe in. I want to sort of sit on that for a moment and think about that, because I understand what it is to be a cynic. I understand what it is to be a realist. I understand what it is to be maybe a little bit trepidatious around spiritual language or around magical language. I know that very well. I have a Capricorn sun, so as much as my Pisces rising allows me to be myself in my truest essence of who I was when I was a child, in all of my Piscean fluidity, the Capricorn parts of me do put a sort of stopgap on that, and I'm wary about what information I ingest and what information I absorb to be true. And so I can sort of I'm saying this because I can see that in the Aquarian ideology too. It's, intellect first, like completely revolutionized in the way that you think, completely, not typical at all in the way that information is processed. Brilliant in the quality of the problem-solving techniques and the intelligence that you have. But I would imagine that when it comes to sort of more sort of cosmic sort of stuff, if it's what you really believe in, and I dare say that you probably would, because Pisces does rule that second house for you, your values do lie in magic, but it might be something that you maybe are reluctant to share with a lot of people, or it might be something that you keep to yourself because it's private and you don't sort of really need, you know, none of us need a guru, do we? None of us need dogma in our lives. None of us need thou shalt not. None of us need a masthead of any kind of spiritual apex. We're not in it for any kind of hierarchy here. Completely the opposite. I'm not sure why I said that, but I did. And I think that, yeah, like I want you to... also, probably actually, because I'm looking at Venus and Neptune. So on the 16th of February, Venus made a conjunction with Neptune. I'm not sure when I'm publishing this, so it might be before or after, but just check your calendar. The 16th of February, there's a conjunction between Venus and Neptune in Pisces. And this may lead to some feeling of like garden path. It might be sort of like a bit of a trip out, sort of like, whoa, man, like that was wild. I loved that, but was that real? Did I really, is that something that I can believe in, or was it a bit diluted? Was it a hallucination? And so maybe I'm probably using this language at the beginning of the reading to sort of like not qualify the magical principles of Pisces, but sort of allow, sort of, you know, open that door for you, Aquarius, to let you into that space. You're allowed to think about things in this way. You're allowed, you know, like please come and share with us what it is that you know with folks that you trust, first and foremost. That's so important. But I think, yeah, this Venus and Neptune conjunction was really sensual and gorgeous and lovely and holds great potential. And I guess you're sort of wondering to yourself, wow, can I trust this, or is this an apparition? And when we're thinking about apparitions in the second house, which is, you know, it's what we believe in, what our core values are, and also, you know, it's in relationship to our financial access as well. You don't want to sort of make any rash decisions on a wing and a prayer. So maybe allow that sort of flood of nirvana flow over you from the 16th. And when it comes to the new moon on the 20th, rather, you'll be ready to sort of pick apart what was real and what was maybe a bit of a fantasy. I hope this is kind of making sense. I think that it is. Saturn is moving from Aquarius into Pisces, so it's going to be leaving your first house, that boundary that we've been talking about for a year now, 2 years, is leaving. Those lessons have been learned, and you know, we're starting a new 30-year cycle. So Saturn hasn't been in Pisces for 30 years, so this is a new boundary that's entering the salt water of Pisces. Now, Pisces and Saturn, there's a lot of dissolving that happens here. So I'm kind of seeing for you that there might even be like a turnaround into perhaps maybe earning money or taking care of yourself in a way that is more intuitive, that is different to the structures that have been laid in place so far. Perhaps you're opening up to different ways of providing for yourself and your community, you know, those that you love, if you live with people. The Saturn transit through Pisces will be an interesting one for you, Aquarius, and it's good that we get to talk about it now, because it sort of is happening like a domino with Pluto into Aquarius. So I do feel, yeah, I've said this to you time and again, but we are gently preparing for your rebirth, and it's going to be stunning. But I wonder if this is the first step. I'm just going to get some intuitive tarot for you, Aquarius. Mercury's in Aquarius now too, as well, at 12 degrees at this moon, and it's in trine with Mars in Gemini. So that passionate expression that we've been talking about for a little while, that 7 months of kind of building heat in the way that you express yourself. There's also, yeah, like the 5th house is in relationship to like the way that we have passion, you know, passionate love affairs is something that I see here. Or if you're starting a family too, it'd be the way that you relate to your kids. The 5th house has so much to do with the individual point of expression, right? Something that maybe is a little bit tricky for you from time to time to feel that yours is valued. And this is where Mars is, and this is where we've been having that pressure, but Mercury is trining Mars. So in your first house, Mercury, the planet of messages from the gods themselves, is clarifying. I feel like a clarity coming here for you as far as where you wish to maybe express some of this passion, what angles, what avenues you're going to take, if you've got options, which, you know, I hope you do, babe. But let's look at the intuitive tarot. I got the Ace of Swords, the Queen of Cups, the Four of Cups, and the Queen of Wands. Now, this is a really interesting story for me. There's truth and clarity here. The Ace of Swords is, we could probably say this is Mercury, you know? This is Mercury in your first house, handing you the truth of the matter. And I see this Queen of Cups here. This is someone who is incredibly emotionally adept and willing and able to meet you exactly where you're at, to have your needs not only met, but tended to. You know what I mean? There's a real investment here with this individual into your emotional self, you know, and emotions, they have their light and shadow as well. I have the Four of Cups here, which is a moment of solitary meditation. And I have the Queen of Wands here, which is a very different energy to the Queen of Cups. This person is activated and passionate and fiery and seductive. Now, I'm not putting words in your mouth, Aquarius, but there might be, is there some sort of not decision between two people, but it's sort of like avenues of which way you might go. It's sort of like you could embody these queens yourself. They could be people that are around you that you're sort of thinking, from what I see, it's sort of like the truth of the matter is I know I need emotional healing. I need to be around people that are caring. I'm going to say no to this fire, as seductive as it might be. I'm going to take this path because I know that this path is going to heal me and feed me, and it's going to go the distance too. That could be one way to look at it, but now I'm looking at the major secret of the tarot, which for the Pisces secret is the Moon card. And this card talks exactly about that choice. It talks about which way will I go? What essence of me is going to reveal itself? Will I be domestic? Will I be staid and polite? Or will I be a wild child? Will I let my animal instinct overcome me and follow that road? This card talks so much about this. The moon affects us in these ways. We have a choice in life always. And we have all of these different facets in us. And it's up to us to figure out which way we're going to approach things. So if we think about your second house, if we relate this spread specifically to your second house, your value system, rather than this sort of romantic choice, I mean, I am looking at that Mars in the fifth house for you. So I am kind of thinking, okay, so the next love affair or the next version, you know, the next approach to my current love affair, you know, it's how I'm going to show up in relationship with somebody else. Am I going to be a magician? Am I going to be seductive and flirtatious and passionate and burn out? Or am I going to finally allow myself into a place of depth? That could be one way to look at this. These messages are coming out. There's a lot of them, so that you have to pick which one is for you. Another way to look at this would be to really relate it to your second house, your value system. It's kind of like, will I keep my eyes on the prize and earn, spend, grow, accrue, dazzle, or am I going to take an alternative path that might have me earning a little bit less, but might have me feeling incredibly emotionally fulfilled? Yeah, it's a bit of a mismatch, actually. a mixed bag of messages for you this time, Aquarius. I'm sorry if it's a bit clunky, but hopefully there's something in there that's come out and you're sort of like, that's what I'm thinking, that's what I need, that's what I hope for. And I reckon that maybe Mercury will probably clarify some of that for you come this moon too, because the Mercury relationship with Mars is probably, I can see that Queen of Fire. That's why we're sort of talking about this love space. Yeah. Well, I tell you what you need to do is be a Pisces and magic it into existence. Yeah. On the 20th of February, I want you to cast a spell. If you've never cast a spell before, I'd love you to cast one now. Just see what happens. I mean, that could be something else too. Maybe that Queen of Wands isn't so sleazy. Maybe the Queen of Wands is actually your access to magic as well. If things have been maybe a bit unsatisfying or a bit troublesome in the second house for you, if you've been kind of conflicted as to what it is that you do value and what it is that you really do believe in and what you do devote yourself to, then maybe the Queen of Wands is actually a bit of support. I've got no conclusions for you at this one, Aquarius. I'm sorry, but I hope that there was something in there that rang a bell for you. I mean, that's kind of Pisces, that sort of erosion of barriers. Anyway, head over to umaruby.com and get your birth chart read by me. I'd love to meet you if I haven't already. Pick the spirit reading. If you're unsure of what to choose from the readings tab, go down to the spirit one. That's my money's on that one. We always have such a beautiful time offering that reading with the clients that I've had so far. Also head to buymeacoffee.com and throw some money in the tip jar. And you can also sign up to my newsletter at umaruby.com. I love you very much, Aquarius, and I'll be speaking to you in 2 weeks for the full moon in Virgo. So until then, take care. Bye.